Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Conceal Carry channel. I'm Grant McLean. I'm super excited about this episode. We're going to do some good info on the Walther PPQ M2, show you what comes in the box if you're to buy it from the store, share our time over at the range, and of course do a nice formal in-depth tabletop review. We're doing 5 shots, 2 seconds, just pushing the pistol out and pulling the trigger. We have a nice 2.2-inch group, almost made a little smiley face there. The funky texture on here where it has kind of that woven look to it. This looking like a woven basket from my grandmother's house. Now, before we jump into this review, of course, I want to say thank you so much to Northwest Armory. If you need to get a gun, visit nwarmory.com, or if you pop into Northwest Armory, make sure to tell them that Grant over the Conceal Carry channel sent you in. They're going to take very good care of you, and they will ship it to your local FFL if you decide to order it from their website, nwarmory.com, if you need to get a gun. The other folks I want to say thank you so much to is X-Hunt Targets. They have been working with us and us working with them on the awesome reactive targets that you have seen on this channel. After the video, go to X-Hunt Targets, order up some targets. It's xhunttargets.com, and get those targets. I think you're going to like them very, very much. Now, we have started something new on Patreon because obviously guns and ammo, they cost money. We want to make this a full-time thing so we can continue getting more content to you and get that over to you more consistently. So we've started a Patreon page. You can find the link in the description below, and we'd absolutely appreciate you becoming a patron of the channel and making sure that we can continue to do what we do, support the Second Amendment community and concealed carriers, new gun owners, so on and so forth, with great content. And inside there, you'll see that you can get exclusive access to what we call Beyond the Black Shirt, and that's going to touch on a lot of the guns and accessories, digging a little bit more into also my lifestyle beyond the black shirt for things like the Galil, the AK, the Christensen arms, and a boatload of guns that I have that you don't get to see, that you'll have access to on our Patreon page. So after the video, yes, hit up X-Hunt Targets, order up some targets, but also click that link in the description, jump on our Patreon page, and see how you can support us. We'd greatly appreciate it, and get some extra content that is awesome. Without further ado, let's jump into this Walther PPQ M2. Let's do the unboxing here real quick. I do like the package just comes in. You can see you can put some locks here. Nice plastic case, so it's not a cardboard box like you would find with some other manufacturers. That'll save you a little bit of money right there. Let's go ahead and pop this open. There she is. Nicely organized. Top of the box here, you're going to find your lock. Nice little foam cutout for that. You have your firearm here. Let's go ahead and unbox that, or unbag that. Beauty. Set this aside. We're going to jump into that in a second here. You're going to have a couple extra back straps. I'll show you how to put these back straps on as we kind of go through the review. So you have a small, medium, and a large back strap. You're going to have an extra magazine. All right. A little speed loader right there. Well, semi-speed loader. And here's your other magazine that was in the pistol. And of course, underneath the foam, your paperwork. Kind of the standard stuff, except for with Walther, you're going to get a neat little CD. Huh, isn't that neat? Does anybody even use those things anymore? I wonder if back in the 90s, if you bought a Walther, if it came with like a floppy disk. How cool would that be? All right, let's talk about the Walther PPQ. Let's kind of break down the specs real quick, and then we'll go into a little bit of range time, and then go more in depth into the pistol itself. So what we have here is a 9mm double stack. It is a 15 round capacity in the mag from the factory, plus 1 in the chamber. This is a polymer frame gun, metal slide, 4-inch barrel. And as far as dimensions go, you have a length of 7.1 inches, a height of 5.3 inches with the magazine in, and a width of 1.3 inches. It's not very light. It's not super heavy, of course. It's a 1 pound, 8.5 ounce gun empty. So not light, not heavy. I do like the weight of it. It definitely feels solid. It doesn't rattle or anything like that. It's obviously a very well fit and finished gun as far as that goes, and we'll jump into some of the attention to details that I do like about this gun here as we go from the sights down to the base pad there. The MSRP on this is $649. Street price, and what you're going to find these on at your dealers for, is about $599, and that's what I've seen. I think the lowest that I saw online was $579, but majority of the retailers that I've seen have it priced at about $599, and I don't think that is a bad price at all. Now, there's different configurations you can get in this gun, and it's kind of a bummer with the way that Walther's website is set up. It doesn't have all the configurations on their website as you would maybe find it in the store. And the main one that I see the most is the threaded barrel. So I'll see this model with a threaded barrel and night sights, but you won't see that combination on the website. So it can be a little confusing if you go into the store and you go, oh man, that was like way more than, the dude on the channel said it was. Well, there's going to be some other factors playing into that. Just like if you wanted to get a red dot, I was doing some research and I was looking at different upgrades for the PPQ, and one of the first upgrades that pops up is a red dot. Well, the PPQ, if you look this up as is on Walther's website, doesn't have an optic cut. But then if you go into the Q4, so the PPQ Q4, you can get a tactical version which does have an optic cut and actually has adjustable sights. Well, there you go. Something to keep in mind, something to do a little bit more research into if you're very particular about this pistol and the configuration that you want from the factory. Just things to keep in mind. Let's talk about our range time real quick before we jump into the sights and everything like that on the gun. All right, here we are. We have our awesome reactive target from X Hunt Targets, and we did our usual 3, 5, 7, and 10 yards. Now, again, we're doing 5 shots, 2 seconds, not on a rest or anything like that, just pushing the pistol out and pulling the trigger, trying to keep those groupings as tight as I can. At 3 yards, you can see here we have a nice 2.2 inch group. Almost made a little smiley face there. And when I was kind of warming up with the pistol, as it was the first time that I've shot that pistol. Now, I have a Q5 match steel frame. And this is a lot different than that gun. They are completely different animals. So I don't want to say that that actually gave me any more experience with this gun. It didn't at all. But I did notice that pretty much from the very first shots, and as I was warming up with the gun and kind of get used to it, a lot of the rounds were kind of drifting over to the left. And as I was putting the target out further, the groupings, they would kind of rise, but they continued to get further out to the left. And that is exactly what happened in this drill. Just like is here, it just got worse and worse. It looks like the f***ing hurricane, just getting worse. So at 3 yards, 2.2 inch group, 5 yards, 2.2 inch group. But you can see 3 rounds ended up, 2 of them pretty much right on top of each other. So that is about a 3/4 inch group right here. And then because of that little flyer down there, that's what created the 2.2 inch group. So this was one of the best. The 7 yards 3.6 inch group and 10 yards was a 1.8 inch group, and you can see those 3 shots right there. Altogether, on average, with those 20 shots between 3 and 10 yards, it was a 2.45 inch group. Now, the 7 inch group, this kind of looks pretty big on this target here, but 3.6 inches at 7 yards, to give you an idea, is smaller than my fist. So you think about that. That is decent sized grouping. I know for certain if this was a gun that I owned and I was going to the range with it every other week or once a week and putting 50 rounds down range or something like that, this would definitely be a piece that I would be comfortable with defending my life. You know, if I needed it at 7 yards, I know I could easily drill 3.5 inch groups at 7 yards, a smaller than fist size group, anywhere I wanted to, anytime. And so if that's something that you're considering this gun for as a self-defense piece, which is more than likely what you'd be looking at this for, I think it's a good recommendation as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the details on the gun. We'll start from the sights and work our way down to the base pad. Now, the model I have in my hands has the 3-dot sight. Now, these are just your kind of regular 3-dot sight. They are polymer. There's nothing really too special about them. They're dovetail on the rear. On the front sight, it's fixed in from the bottom of the slide, similar to like what you'd see on a Glock. So if you're going to be adjusting these, the way that you would actually adjust the elevation is the size or height of the front sight. So you take that off, put a taller one on if you want your groupings to go up. The rear sight, the way that you would adjust the windage is you would use a tool. You would push that to the left or to the right, depending on the way that you want your groupings to go. These are not tritium or night sights. There's nothing too special about these particular sights other than they're just a standard 3-dot sight. You can get this from the factory with night sights, and they're actually going to be a little bit taller at the front of that rear sight. It's not quite the height of a suppressor sight, but it's tall enough that if you were doing like a one-handed reload or maybe taking a pistol class and you needed to rack that slide off of a table or something like that, doing a one-hand reload drill, you would be able to use those sights for something like that. So if you're looking for something more tactical, I would probably recommend go that route. Or if you wanted to go with something with a threaded barrel, look at the Q4 tactical model. I think that would probably be a good fit, especially if you're looking to do a suppressor on it. You know, you want one with a threaded barrel and act as a suppressor host. That would be a good choice out of the box, in my opinion. Let's talk about this slide. Now, the slide on this gun is well machined. It's nice finish, has a nice finish to it. The serrations, love the front serrations right there. Nice rear serrations. Overall, I do really like the slide. I do also like on the top of the slide that they do have some nice serrations on the top there to give it a little anti-glare over the sights. As I said earlier, it doesn't have the optic cut, but that's okay. You can get a different model with an optic cut if you want it, and it probably is going to fit what you're looking for a little bit better as far as being a little bit more tactical. The other gun that they have that's really cool is the Q4 steel frame, and that is like this gun, but the whole bottom frame is actually steel. It is a beautiful gun. So I have the Q5 steel frame, and it is beautiful, and the Q4 steel frame is beautiful, and that also has a optic plate on it too. So if you have some extra cash and you know you like the weight and the look and the feel of that, that is a very good option to keep an eye out for. They are hard to find though. Well, in fact, these are hard to find as well. So I saw it today, so I jumped on it right away. Anyways, as far as the slide goes, I really do like it. On the back, there's kind of this funky little dimple, and I do see with some Walthers, you'll see the little kind of like firing pin, and you'll see an indicator that sticks out. And I said this before, that I was like, well, it'd be kind of like a little funny if they put a little dog butt there and your little firing pin disappeared like a... I'm not going to go too far into it. That's just embarrassing. Yeah, that was on the bloopers video, remembering 2020. That was terrible, but a lot of fun. Anyways, with this little dimple there, I don't really see the point in it, honestly, but, you know, it's open and debris is going to get into the internals and potentially make the gun malfunction. I don't see that happening in any way. So it's just one of those things like, well, I mean, it's just there, whatever. Other than that, the frame, it's nothing too crazy special. The serrations are good. I like that it has front serrations. The spring on it is heavier than I found with some of the other compact models. I definitely feel that it's heavier than the Glock. Here's an AXG Scorpion, and I feel that, yeah, it's definitely heavier than that. But it's also a little bit different of a shape too, so maybe that could be a factor in the amount of surface area I'm actually getting onto my hands. But I feel that it's a little heavier. I don't think that it's going to take someone necessarily away from the gun. And what I mean by that is, if you grab this gun and you go, oh my god, it's so heavy, that you're going to go and grab like a P320 or a Glock or a CZ, and you're going to go, oh, this is so much lighter. This is a gun that I can actually use. I think that if you can rack any of those, you'll rack this just fine. It's not like the Shield Easy or anything like that. Again, I think it's going to come down to proper technique of being able to rack the slide. I mean, if you're trying to just, you know, get your thumb and your index finger just barely on there and you're trying to pull it up, that's not the way to do it, you know? Make that little C-clamp on top, push down to the floor, and I think that's going to work a lot easier. But anyways, like I always say, if it's a question whether or not it's going to be, you know, a good fit for you in that aspect, go to the gun store, see if they got one. If they got one, get it in your hands. If you like everything about it, buy it. This is a great gun, in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and jump down into the controls real quick here. One of the things that I love about my Q5, and I do like about this, and, you know, I like about the Q4, is the slide lock lever is enormous. It doesn't stick out super far, but because it's really wide and it has the serrations in there, it is really easy to manipulate. You know, you can see even with a empty magazine in there, which is usually the hardest way to operate that slide lock release lever, is very, very easy. And it's ambidextrous. You don't have to swap anything, nothing. I really like that. The mag release is ambidextrous. It's metal, and it's very easy to manipulate, even if you have medium-sized hands. With most double-stack guns, I have to adjust my grip from my firing position. I have to adjust my hand just slightly so I can push my thumb a little bit further to get a nice positive grip on the magazine release, and that is not the case. I go straight from firing position, and I can just move my thumb down, and down it goes. Awesome. Really like that. It's ambidextrous. You can swap it over to the other side. The takedown, super simple. Imagine kind of the Glock little takedown mechanism here, except for with the Walther, you can get a really good handle on it and pull those down as well. So just right there, pull the slide back, ease that down, slide goes forward, pull the trigger, slide comes right off. Super duper easy to disassemble. Love that. Might as well just talk about the trigger here real quick. So the trigger is very similar to like what you would see on Glocks, HKs, CZs, where it has the trigger safety. So you have that little metal piece or middle piece there that you depress to disengage the safety, then you can pull the trigger all the way back. It does have the serrations on the trigger, which I like very much. It's kind of funny. You'll see that on some Glock models. You'll see that on CZs. You're going to see that on the Walther PPQ right here. This trigger is kind of unique in the sense that it is super smooth, and then all of a sudden it just breaks. You don't really like hit a wall and then it breaks. It just kind of builds up tension and snap, breaks. So you'll see that here. I'll go ahead and give that a nice trigger pull for you. So you have you're going to depress that safety there, and you can see that take up, and then all of a sudden it'll just break. So even if you feel like you've hit the wall, you haven't. Well, you really don't even feel like it's just a smooth, gradual increase in pressure and weight, and then snap. So I really like that because it doesn't let you predict what's going to happen, or at least it's harder to predict what's going to happen, and therefore it's harder to anticipate the recoil, and you're not going to do the dipping thing, you know what I mean, where you're going and then your shot is 6 inches below where you want it to go, and you're like, gosh, I can't get this. This trigger is fantastic in doing that, and the reset is about 1/4 inch, if that. So check this out. There it is. Nice, audible. You can really feel it, and then snap. People have said that this is the best striker fire trigger out of the box, hands down, out of any gun. I don't know that I would disagree at all. This is a fantastic trigger. Feeling-wise, though, I might disagree, because there is some triggers out there that I like more, but I also like flat face triggers. So that's kind of the caveat. That's my opinion. So what do? Go to your gun shop. Go to your gun shop, get the gun in your hands, or if you can, go to a local range that has these where you can shoot them and kind of get an idea of it. But I think this is a fantastic pistol as far as that goes. So, trigger, great. Let's talk about the grip, this frame. So the frame is a polymer frame, and I do like a lot of things about this frame. One, you have the 1913 rail, and you have some grip at the front of the trigger guard. But if you take a look here, this undercut on this trigger is crazy high. I see people do these high undercuts on their Glocks to try to get it like this, and from the factory, you get your hand nice and high up into the gun as is. Fantastic. Really easy to go. I mean, the grip angle is very easy to acquire your target when you just press the pistol right out there. It's very similar to, I would say, the Smith & Wesson as far as that grip angle goes. 1911, just a very ergonomic, natural target acquisition where it's like you're almost shaking the hand of your target. If you just put your pistol in that and then you look down the sights, it's like, oh, there it is. Perfect. Do really like that. I like the slight finger grooves. They're not super deep, but they tend to fit people's hands very well. I've talked to a few of my friends who've got this in their hands, and they're like, oh, wow, that fits really good. And we all have different size hands and things like that. The back, this angle here, that kind of fills in your palm perfectly. There's a slight palm swell there too. As far as the back straps go, you're going to get a few back straps from the factory with the gun. We have a small, so this is going to be the small, and then this will be the large, and it's going to also go into kind of like the beaver tail there. And all you have to do is just remove that little pin, and this is going to come down and out. So the one that's on there is a medium right now, and you can just put the one that you want in there, which is very cool. So it already comes with those. I like that a lot. Now, the thing I didn't like about this grip is the width of this beaver tail. When I hold this gun, the edge here of the beaver tail sits right on top of this knuckle. And as you're shooting it, it will start to kind of just dig right into the top of that knuckle. I don't like how fat this is, because see how it sits right on my knuckle?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I almost have to turn my hand sideways. Friends of mine that have larger size hands, this is not a factor for them. That space is bigger. It's not a factor for them. For me and people that have medium, small size hands, that is a factor. And it is the same thing on my Q5, and I will tell everybody the same thing when they shoot the Q5. That is going to dig in if you have smaller size hands. So you could change your grip angle, and it would be really weird, not recommended, because you're almost like turning your hand outward like this, which is really funky. But that's the only thing that I just didn't care for. And you'll see here when I take this Glock and I put them side by side, you can see how much wider that is. So here's a Glock 19. And these are all 15 round capacity guns. Here is a Mossberg MC2C, and you could also do this like if you had a Glock 48 or a Glock 43X. I would say more so this would compare to a Glock 48 if you were using like Shield magazines, and now you have you have a 15 round capacity. But you can definitely see way wider. That's like a pancake gun. Here is the 6-hour AXG Scorpion. So you can definitely see the width on that. This is a Legion, but this is I don't know that that's necessarily the best comparison with the Legion. More so I'm showing you this because of the X carry, because this is going to be the same as like an X module. But you can see how much wider this is as that goes next to or over your knuckle here on your thumb. Knowing what I know now and shooting this gun and also being able to shoot other guns, that would be a make or break for me, because I like to practice with my guns, and I hope that you will as well. And the more practice you go with and the more rounds you're putting down range, the more that this knuckle on your thumb might become more and more agitated. And if that stops you from practicing with your gun often, then that's a problem. So I know some people are going to say, oh, well, just build a callus, you'll get used to it. Listen, there's plenty of other guns on the market that are just as reliable, just as accurate, just as everything as this gun. So I don't necessarily know that you need to just, kind of nut up and deal with it. I think it's more so just get the gun that fits your hand. If this one fits your hand very well, go for it, because this is a fantastic gun. So that's my only complaint there. Other than that, the front here next to the rail, I really like the machining where they kind of made those sharp edges. It doesn't quite make it look like a polymer frame gun. The other thing is just kind of the funky texture on here where it has kind of that woven look to it. And I know I said something about this on the other review for the Walther PPS about this looking like a woven basket from my grandmother's house. Oh man, and that was in the bloopers from last year too. Oh boy. Anyways, other than that, good gun. Fit, finish, nice. Ergonomics outside of the little thumb thing going on there, not so awesome. Obviously, you can see from the groupings and what I'm talking about with these ergonomics, the recoil is very manageable. It's a very well balanced gun. As far as accessories go, you want to get a threaded barrel, no problem. If you want to do a red dot, I would say go with the Q4 tactical model, which has the red dot, cut out already on it with the plate. I think that's a smart move. As far as looking for like extended magazines, I found a few. I didn't find them to have great reviews, but what I did find that had good reviews was the aluminum base pads, where you can add 4 or 5 more rounds to the magazine capacity itself. And I found those to have great reviews. Of course, they're going to be aluminum, so they're probably going to expect them to be in the $30 to $40 range. But if you want to have those, higher capacity mags, hey, that's something to look at there. Other than that, you guys, you know what? I would definitely recommend this if you are looking for like a CZP-10C, if you're looking for a Glock 19, if you're looking for a P320, if you're looking for like a Smith & Wesson M&P9, either the 4.25 or the 4.0. It's not going to have the 17 round like you would see on some of the other guns that I just mentioned. But overall, this is a nice compact gun. It looks good, feels good, shoots great, and I would definitely recommend it. All right, well, that kind of concludes our findings from the range, and I hope that you enjoy this review. Again, make sure to go check out our new Patreon page. The link is in the description, so make sure you open that up. It's going to be at the top of the description. Click on that and definitely support the channel. We appreciate it very much, as we are wanting to make this a full-time commitment to you. Check out what you can see beyond the black shirt, diving into my lifestyle and the things that you won't see on the concealed carry channel, as we are going to keep this more of a factory finish gun concealed carry channel only type of channel for YouTube, and then we're going to expand it on to Patreon for our Patreon supporters. So do what you can on Patreon. Of course, if you need to get a gun or get one of these guns, as I did pick this up today at Northwest Armory, you go to nwarmory.com. You can order the gun, have it shipped to your local FFL. Or if you happen to go into the store, tell them that Grant McLean over at the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. Say hi to Khaki because he is such a good doggy. And after the video, go to xhunttargets.com. Get some of these awesome reactive targets, and I think you're going to like them very, very much. xhunttargets.com, and you'll be good to go. Again, thank you guys so much. Make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you love the gun community and you want to support 2A, you want to support concealed carry gun owners, hit the like. Make sure that we get up in the rankings in YouTube, and we will see you next time on the Concealed Carry channel. It's business time. It's business time. It's business. It's business time. I open up the box. It's business time. Turn it around. Put it in your face. It's business time. It's business. It's business time. Business is closed. Ow. It's a long day today, but gotta do it for the tube. Gotta do it for the black shirt and beyond the black shirt. What are we doing? Unboxing? We're gonna do an unboxing. Tabletop. No. Unboxing. Tabletop and range review of. Okay. And then it goes ding 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 ding. Here's a bazooka. No, I'm kidding. Yes. Way more than you bargained for on the Concealed Carry channel. Oh shit. Okay. You alright? You are losing it. I thought I was losing it. And then they did the funky little texturing here on the grip, and I know I said this before with the I think it was either the CCP or the PPS, where I said that this looked like a woven basket from my grandmother's mouth. Mouth? Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry, Grandma Mimi. Did I say my grandmother's mouth? God. Jesus Christ. No, my family's never going to let me live this one down. Not my grandmother's mouth. Wow. And we will see you next time on the Concealed Carry channel. Thank you. Oh. 2 times. Victor, Stefano. These are the days of our lives.
Is that a wrap?
That's a PPQ Pew Pew Q wrap.